Distance. And this is also the act when you can start to kind of socket in a third support gem. Didn't want to invest too much into it. A supported skill deals a killing blow to a shocked enemy, which we'll be doing tons of. Like I said, use Falling Thunder. It will have charge staff attached to it, which will do 100% shock. And it will also shock things all the time anyway. So you're going to have shock all over the place. Take advantage of those as you see fit. And not to talk about our passive tree here, we finished off by being just short of resonance, but now we're going to pick up resonance, and we're going to come down to this portion of the tree and pick up Killer Instinct, pick up Tenfold Attacks, pick up Immortal Infamy, and Immortal Thirst. Really, it's going to come down to you and your decision of what you want to do for the build. Do you need... Survivability and go right here. These two are going to give us survivability. Do you want 3? Let's talk about skill check. 1. Coming into Act 2, we're going to come over here and pick up Echoing Frost with 30% increased elemental damage if you've chilled an enemy recently. I think some of these nodes here for some more elemental damage as you see fit. Also, we're going to go to Shattering here to help out with more freeze buildup. You can see that happens right here, 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 and here. And then we're going to come down through this branch and pick up Conservative Casting. This is going to help us out with mana regen and 8% reduction mana cost of skills as well as used to be right here. And then you're going to come over this region, over up through here, and pick up Resonance once you pick up those other two skills we talked about. I just wanted to set it up so as we jump into Act 3, we can knock that out. Let's also now talk about our Ascendancy. So in Act 2, we'll be choosing our Ascendancy, correct? And what we're going to focus on first with the Ascendancy is the cold damage. So this is going to increase the magnitude of chill use. It is what it is. But this is unfreezing enemies create chilled ground, which is cool, and gain 10% of damage as extra cold damage. It's just more damage in the build. We will eventually shift into Act 3 and grab Center My Enemies, and eventually down here to end Shadow to Winds, and eventually and I Shall Rage. But we're going this branch because we want our critical strikes to, our critical hits, or crits basically, to ignore non-negative enemy put in. I'd rather use the freeze build up on other support chips that stay in a more permanent fixture in the class. But what you will know though is that some of these support chips are going to swap around. So make sure you take a look at this list. I've kept in everything so that you can see like, hey, this is what it's going to look like once you come into Act 2. Then you're going to push into these. So if you notice anything that has an overlap, like Ice Strike here has martial tempo and concentrated effect. Well, so does Commercial Effect. It's going to swap those out. So again, First Strike will swap out. Ice Strike will do that swap.
And a frenzy charge.
Frost here is going to have Ice
Freeze,
Strike and
let's
Frost
do
Nexus,
opinion
which
enemy.
out those focus,
Let's do
initiation, and
this.
it's swapping some of those in over here to Creation Cascade, Glacial Cascade. Pretty much, if you want to know what these will look like,
Chill! I need mana. Vile abomination. Need more mana.
Initially, that process was painful and months from start to finish. Fortunately, there is another way. Take a look at it from helping people regain the confidence to show off the style in just 24 hours.
Like many people living with missing teeth or dental issues, Ricky Cox says he felt ashamed. He wants to hide a smile from the world, so he looked into dental implants. But what he found was a life changed in just 24 hours.
Do the uncle slot. Here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to do it in 24 hours. People don't even realize that they're implants. That's why we take the x-rays. That's why we take the measurements. Because they want them to look as natural as possible.
Each smile to be a pass marks the start of a renewed journey with confidence, health, and possibilities.
Electrocute. And a frenzy charge.
That's why I stopped taking gabapentin and ended up in medication for my nerve pain, where I would have lost my foot. If you also suffer from nerve pain, you need to stop doing this. because you're only treating your symptoms, not the cause. Here's why. Everything I heard is after years of dealing with constant illness, pain, stabbing sensations,
No mana. Need more mana.
explain how the expensive medications I was taking actually making the burning and tingling worse. Not to mention the terrible side effects I was experiencing every day.
It's all burning all of your power charges, and it won't help you out. So don't touch it yet. Once we get to Act 3, the beginning of the end of Act 2, how it falls out, which is resonance, and these other two will all be going. You can do it, but I want to note here that you just don't jump into it right away. As far as our passive tree goes, we step forward here, power in at the end of Act 2, which we have Act 1. Coming into Act 2, saving me time. 25% more weapon elemental damage, giving us just a real disgusting amount of DPS, even at this level, which is 46. Another big frost ability that we'll be using is Wave of Frost. For 80% of our damage to cold damage, and it gives us a nice big cone attack. What I really like about this is it just kind of really helps just dish out tons of freezing, as you can see right there. So we'll use Frost Nexus so that anytime we freeze something, it creates chilled ground, which just chills targets for us. And then lastly, it will have Ice Spikes. So anytime that we do freeze something, our attacks gain 35% of damage as cold damage. So we're amping up that cold as much as possible. In addition to that, we'll be putting Herald of Ice very early in this build. It'll help us every time that we shatter a frozen target. It'll basically create an explosion that will do physical damage but we can cold damage, which is absolutely. And then we'll help you have this help us by giving it clarity to help with mana regeneration. This is a mana that we roll early in the game. Another big portion of this build is going to be Charge Staff. Charge Staff here, essentially what it does, is going to press this little button. You can see it'll create our field, charge our staff, and help us so we can throw these waves of lightning damage. Now, it's really crucial here. It gives us a range capability. The most important thing about Charge Staff is it will impute every single attack that we use, regardless of whether or not. It's like really jump over the next area to show you what that looks like. So this helps us out in giving us the capability to supercharge everything with lightning. Now, what we're going to do is we're also going to use power charges. We're going to talk about how we're going to get those. But we're going to use conduction so that every time we do it, it just gives shock. And shock is crucial. We'll talk about this in a second combat event. Innervate here is going to give us an attack with 35% of damage as lightning. With 3 seconds on killing a shocked enemy, which is going to happen on the side. And persistence. So now, whenever we convert our energy orbs into the charged staff, it will last for a lot longer. So we're going to keep dumping our charges into this. Instead, we can dump our charges into this Falling Thunder, which will be a big damage vehicle for us. You can see right now it does attack damage to 126%, which is just absolutely beautiful. This one is using all these charges. So it's going to have just a little bit and shooting these big, huge cones of lightning damage all over the place. And what you can see with Falling Thunder is it's our big charge expenditure. We're going to have tons of charges that we can just put into Charge Staff, but we don't have to keep putting them in. Charge Staff will last like almost a minute. What this does is it converts 100% of physical damage to lightning damage, which is huge for us. Projectiles pierce all targets and 25% more damage per charge consumed. Depending upon how you approach this build, that could be 5 total charges, which is 124%. That could be 7 total charges, which is 150%. It's a lot of charges, and 100% more damage if a power charge is consumed. Fire stream projectiles per power charge. So if at 5, that's 15 little tendrils that come out, or it's 21. So you get a lot of really crazy capability out of it.
There's no children where
What's wrong on fucking power charges?
The first month is free that come out, or it's 21. So you get a lot of really crazy a capability out of Falling Thunder. It is a lot of fun. So how do we really take advantage of that? Well, we use Combat Frenzy. Combat Frenzy will generate a frenzy charge for us whenever we freeze, electrocute, or pin an enemy. And we're going to be doing that. Well, the first one will all the time electrocute 2 walls. We're part of the combination of electrocute. Electrocutes ammo that interrupts the target's only lightning damage from hits with specific skills or effects contribute to electrocution. Build up on enemies until they become electrocuted. Those with lightning damage will not build up towards electrocution. So if we build electrocution into this, we can turn this on. But our big primary source is freeze. And then we use perfusion so that it generates an additional charge. If we're saying, hey, we're not using frenzy charges, you're right. We're using this passive to convert those frenzy charges into power charges, which then fuel the entire build. So it's cyclical. All the things that shock, all the things that do ailments, all that kind of fun stuff, contribute to everything of the build, especially freeze, which gives us a whole heap of charges. There are other 3 abilities that I haven't gone into here. Our Tempest Spell, which we'll use for single target damage, it will basically build up stacks, cast it on the ground, and then hit it as much as you can with your normal attack like this. And it will just resonate and do damage in an area around it. So we use Magnified Effect for more area of effect, or 1 instead to make it so that we can stack these things. Now, this doesn't mean you're going to have multiple bells up. It means that the time in between one bell going down and the other one going up is a much faster turnaround. So if you stack up 4 little combo points down here, cast Tempest Bell, the Tempest Bell, then have built 4 more combo points, you just keep doing it. We'll use Rage, so every time we hit it, it will hit the enemy, our single target, and it will grant us 3 Rage. Remember, Rage increases our attack speed and our damage, getting disgusting stacks of this. Hypothermia in the end game to help reduce the cold resistance of things, and just supporting it with Hypercurse to increase the effect, and Expanse to increase the area of effect, and we're going to 7 less second cooldown. You can see it's going to be a much larger area of effect when we cast that spell. Our last ability here is Glacial Cascade, which we'll start with and we'll use the entirety of the build. This is an ability that just kind of gives us ranged cold damage that is really great, which we'll use a lot with Foe Locust in the beginning. But Cold Infusion here of support attacks gain 25% of damage as cold damage, and Glaciation supported skills cost 50% more free spill. So those are our skills, those are our support gems in the end game builds. But what's it look like with the rest of the levels? For the sake of saving me time and just making it a lot easier on you guys, I'm going to be showing you my mobile Linux site that has this build, so you can go ahead and look. Once we've built the party, we're going to go ahead and use Charge Stack. So swirl everything. Now, Charge Stack is active. It has taken all 5 and converted them. And we can continue to build our charges, what we can see. Once we've built the body, what we need to do, there is more to this. Well, holding down left leg, you can see we're just kind of destroying through stuff. Now we're building these power charges in the upper left. Once we've built the body, we're going to go ahead and use Charge Stack. Increased evasion and energy shield. Now, as far as your rotation goes, it's pretty straightforward. All you gotta do is hold on that flicker. That's really like pretty much it. That's all you really would need to do. There's more to this, so I'm not gonna do that. So holding down left click, you can see we're just kind of destroying through stuff. Now we're building these power charges in the upper left. Once we've built the body, we're gonna go ahead and use Charge Staff. It's gonna swirl everything. And now Charge Staff is active. It has taken all 5 and converted them. And we can continue to build power charges. What we can see is that right clicking, or just pressing left click, will shoot that wave in front of us. If I right click, the wave still is there. If I use Wave Frost, it's still there too. It will always be present on every single time you do. So when we come across past enemies, just hold down shift and let this kind of dance around all crazy like whatever you want to do. Or you can go ahead and use Wave Frost, it's a bunch of things for those with shells up, more power charges, which we're going to use in a second. And we'll fire there. And then eventually we'll use this lightning charge or a bomb cover, which does that, which is so gratifying. Basically, you're going to fill up these charges non-stop. You get to 5 charges, you activate your charge staff, and you just rinse them. That is your entire rotation as a sub-zero. You want to do single target damage. Let's talk about that. As far as our single target damage goes, we do this on
Gotcha. I need mana.
It's contributing to the build right away. You can see it every time I miss it. That's nice. It's I got it. I also I absolutely love it. I think it's a build that it allows every character to feel strong. It is not geared in the sense that it needs to be unique. It does require a little bit of finessing to understand when to trigger things on the passives and the certain support orbs and stuff like that. But really, this build, and a lot of people are trying to build a person Discord that's going to do is just going to take off immediately. And I think that's what's so fun about it. So I was playing Warrior.
And power challenges instead of frenzy challenges.
Things were harder. I couldn't push through. I have not struggled with a single thing with this build. Any boss I've died to was just, I was streaming, I was staring at chat, and I was an idiot. I've blitzed down every boss. And here's a compilation of me doing that. I'm just ripping down these bosses left and right. And this for me is just such a sick build because I get to really feel like I can do a lot of damage really crazy really fast. But this will have its traps, its falling off points. You aren't the sturdiest. That's why we're focusing on energy shield and evasion. You have mana issues, and sticking with mana stuff is going to be a good thing to do if you need to. Eventually, you won't need to, but at the beginning portions of the game, you definitely are going to want to do that. So,
This is Box.gg. It is a platform that allows you to spin on boxes, and inside there are Pokemon cards. Whatever you hit, you can then withdraw. I've been using Box now for about 9 months, and you can hit some beautiful modern and vintage cards. Whatever you hit ends up going into your inventory, and then you withdraw.
it's super convoluted, but trust me, it's a good note. Now, there is a little alternative to our final build that we can go with. So, remember, this is 25%.
I want to see how this works. What people do. What? all fucking bad. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, let's go.
With ascendancies per class, Path of Exile 2 affords you a ton of options for creating the character of your dreams. In this video today, I want to showcase my Sub-Zero Monk leveling build that utilizes tons of cold damage to freeze enemies and blow them up with lightning abilities from Charged Staff and Prophet Thunder. It's my absolute favorite build right now, and it's easily overridden my Warrior as my main. If this is your first time on my channel, the way I do things is by uploading the knowledge in my videos. So with that being said, the skills that I'll be using are Ice Strike, Wave of Frost, Glacial Cascade, Tempest Bell, Falling Thunder, Combat Frenzy, Herald of Ice, Hypothermia, and lastly, Charged Staff. We'll bundle all that together with the Invoker Ascendancy, focusing on frost damage and crits to bypass cold resistance. It's a pretty straightforward build of building charges using Ice Strike, using Charge Staff to add ranged lightning damage, and ripping through wave after wave, blowing up big packs with Falling Thunder. Single target DPS is found in using Tempest Bell and striking that gong until the bosses are dead. Honestly, this build is stupid. It's so fun and probably will be tuned down. And there are absolutely better ways to approach this build, I'm sure. But this is what fits for me and my playstyle. So feel free to take parts of this and make it work for you. I always encourage people to play how they want, not how the internet tells them to. You can find the entire build typed out and linked below, broken apart by the first 3 hacks and beyond. So click the link to mobile links or a handy over tab. But that's the too long didn't watch this entire video, and if that's all you wanted to know, then please feel free to shut the video down and get back to frosting those kegs in Path of Exile 2. You can also navigate to any part of this video that interests you the most using the chapters at the time of the description. If you are heading out and this video did indeed help you, then please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, as each one of those things helps me out in a huge way. Also, don't forget to check me out on Twitch, where I stream this game every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Let's get started on the best Monk Sub-Zero leveling build in Path of Exile 2. Loading into the game, let's take a look at our primary skills at the end game, as it were. We'll take a look at what the breakout is from Act 1 to 2 to 3 with Hannah. Starting off with our primary damage ability, it's going to be Ice Strike. This thing is awesome, converts 80% of our physical damage to cold, and basically we're going to use this to warp around the map, more or less, to kill everything right in front of us. The third strike in the combo warps the target and basically just does a ton of damage. But we're going to use Concentrated Effect because we don't care about the area effect on this. We want to do more area damage. So we want to be able to have really nice, good damage with this Martial Tempo to increase that attack speed by 25%. And lastly, Panel Armament to help supporting skills get 25% more weapon elemental damage, giving us just a real disgusting amount of DPS, even at this level, which is only 46. Another big frost ability that we'll be using is Wave of Frost, converting 80% of our damage to cold damage, and it gives us a nice big cone attack in front of us. What I really like about this is it just kind of really helps just dish out tons of freezing, as you can see right there. So we'll use Frost Nexus so that anytime we freeze something, it creates chilled ground, which just chills targets for us. And then lastly, it will have Ice Bite, so anytime that we do freeze something, our attacks gain 35% of damage as cold damage. So we're amping up that cold as much as possible. In addition to that, we'll be running Herald of Ice very early in this build, but it will help us that every time that we shatter a frozen target, it'll basically create an explosion that will do physical damage converted to cold damage, which is absolutely lovely. And then we'll have this help us by giving it clarity to help out with mana regeneration. This is a mana-hungry build early in the game. But another big portion of this build is going to be Charge Staff from Falling Thunder. Charge Staff here, essentially what it does, I'm going to go and press this little button. You can see it'll charge our staff and help have it so that we can throw these waves of lightning damage. That is really crucial here. It gives us some range capability. The most important thing about Charge Staff is that it will imbue every single attack that we use, regardless of whether or not it is a lightning attack. So when we use Glacial Cascade, it will go ahead and imbue it with lightning. When we go ahead and use any other ability, it will imbue it with lightning, as I jump over to the next area to show you what that looks like. So this helps us out in giving us the capability to supercharge everything with lightning. Now, what we're going to do is we're also going to use power charges. I'm going to talk about how we're going to get those. But we're going to use conduction so that every time we do it, it just gives shock. And shock is crucial because we'll talk about this in a second with combat frenzy. Innervate here is going to make it so that attack gains 75% of damage as lightning for 3 seconds on killing a shocked enemy, which is going to happen all the time, and persistence. So now, whenever we convert our energy orbs into the charged staff, it will last for a lot longer. So we don't have to keep dumping our charges into this. Instead, we can dump our charges into this, Falling Thunder, which will be a big damage vehicle for us. You can see right now it does attack damage 326%, which is just absolutely beautiful. But basically what we're going to be doing here with this one is using all these charges for projectiles per power charge. So into this, we can turn this on. Our big primary source is freeze. And then we use perfusion so that it generates an additional charge. But if you're saying, hey, we're not using frenzy charges, you're right. We're using this passive to convert those frenzy charges into power charges, which then fuel the entire bit. So it's cyclical. All the things that shock and all the things that do ailments, all that kind of fun stuff, contribute to everything in the build, especially freeze, which gives us a whole heap of charges. And our other 3 abilities that I haven't gone into here are Tempest Spell, which we'll use for single target damage. You will basically build up stacks, cast it on the ground, and then hit it as much as you can with your normal attack weapon. Locust and Glacial Cascade with Pretty bomb that we can detonate with Glacial Cascade to help give us opponent skills plus 50% more freeze buildup with glaciation and deep freeze, so increased freeze duration. Tempest Spell is going to have the same stuff with magnified effect and overabundance that we saw earlier. Glacial Cascade is still going to have cold infusion, and instead it's going to have ice bite. Killing Palm is going to be our generator for power charges until we get into that level 30 range. That's going to give us combat frenzy. So Killing Palm, we use this to call enemies. It's a cool way that you can call bosses, and it feels cool. So what we're going to do is use perfusion on that so it has a chance to generate more charges for us. And then life drain, just so we can use it as like a get out of jail free card to give us 12% life over 4 seconds.
I was freezing fucking enemies, man. I don't
Quarter
understand.
staff strike with martial tempo and
Why
rage
it's
to
not
begin
giving me
with.
power
You can
charge.
put in other things if you're so rich. But you're at level whatever, and you will blitz through the game no matter what.
Frozen Lash! Frost Rush!
How did get charged, see? Very good. Every